All right, it's Tuesday, April 16th. This is an end of the day SPY recap. And today on the SPY on the daily chart, we end up with a bit of a consolidation day after the big red bar yesterday. It's a 2 down bar. We took out the low of yesterday, but didn't really follow through much past that. And that was kind of expected when you have a big red bar like that. It's hard to get continued momentum, although you kind of let price action lead the way, but we were definitely expecting some form of consolidation to possibly form. If you look at the 15-minute chart all day, you can see how it developed, the pre-market range between the blue lines. The first bar immediately came down as anticipated and took out yesterday's low, and then we followed through a little bit to take out the pre-market lows. Those were your two reference points. And immediately price came up to test the first bar high and then started down again. So this was the opportunity right here to have a directional day to the downside if it was going to form. And within 2 bars, it paused and started up. And at that point, you kind of know you're in for consolidation, given the fact that you didn't get the directional move right out of the gate. So with consolidation, the only thing to do, in my opinion, is to kind of look, if you're biased, for example, to the downside, which we are, you could look for liquidity to be taken out to the upside, stops to be taken out, and then see if you want to, if price action possibly unfolds to give you a move back down. So I did that here on this bar. It kind of took out the high of the day again, paused a little bit, turned red. I decided to buy some puts to see if it would get, to the low of the day. It got down there. I scaled out. I shot a video saying I wasn't sure if you were going to get the follow through. And then what happened was, if you were watching this at the time, it was very volatile. It came back up again, took out the high of the day, and then came back to the lows. It went up, it went down. So you kind of knew right out of the gates here, you were going to have this type of a choppy day. And it really is not the type of environment you even want to be trading in, depending on your trading method. But once you identify the choppy day, the only thing to do is kind of, buy low and sell high. And if you're biased to the downside, you're looking for sell opportunities, at the top of a range is the only thing, depending on how you want to do that. But to me, it's more just staying away from a market like this. And we discussed, how on the way down, even though there are targets below, it might not be a smooth ride down. So this sets up some interesting possibilities for the rest of the week. This little bar here, maybe we get a 2 up, going into tomorrow. And we could see a little gap in here between the high of this bar and low of this bar. And if we can't reach our target, that could set up a very nice failure back to the downside where maybe you get 2 up, maybe intraday you come to the halfway point of this bar and start lower. Maybe you get a 2 up and then a 2 down Thursday and Friday. All kinds of things could set up. Or maybe this is just enough of a pause where you start below the midpoint and immediately get, follow through to the downside starting tomorrow. We get, we certainly didn't get a turnaround Tuesday back up. So that leads me to believe we're continuing lower. The weekly chart's still down. We reached our targets yesterday and paused a little bit today, but there's still targets below. And if you look at the monthly chart, the targets below are kind of into this gap all the way down to kind of the 490 area. I think there's a psychological 500 area here you could try to probe below. So, we're still, have time to go in the week to get down there, and we'll see what develops. We'll just have to go day by day. So essentially it was a day to kind of stay away from the SPY for the most part. I tried a put trade that did move lower, but then immediately stayed within the range. Fortunately for me, I was looking at a lot of stocks that weren't doing much, but I did choose to play SMCI, super microcomputer call options right out of the gates here, and it went up, paused, inside, held the midpoint of that first bar, and then immediately broke way up higher. And I'm still holding those. I bought those options. I bought them here at 38.81. I shot a video on that, and I still hold the position. They're the 900 calls are up to 83.88, and I anticipate those, even moving higher. You can see after market, it's kind of following through to the upside. If you look at the daily chart here, big green day to the upside, and you normally get follow through, and we'll see how much higher it wants to go. It's just one of those stocks I always track, and it has the potential for a lot of volatility, when it makes a move. So coming out of this kind of a 2 down, 2 bars red to the downside, starting above the midpoint, starting higher, I thought I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, it went up all session long. So that was what I was more focused on. Again, the SPY, not really the index today to be to doing much, but we kind of knew that. The best opportunities are still going to be failures to the upside that start down. And given that we paused a little bit, now we might be able to build up some energy to continue lower. So we'll see what happens for the rest of the week. I still have targets below 500 until proven otherwise. I still want to wait for this weekly chart to reverse in some form before getting comfortable going to the buy side. So we will see what happens, tomorrow and for the rest of the week.